This news update is brought to you by
Grab somebody and tell them hello. Your happiness will be connected to flow. Smile and cheer because that is we flow. Grab somebody and tell them hello. With your hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air. This is how we flow, yeah. Grab somebody and tell them this is how we flow.
It's Monday, August 31st, and this is the Barbados Today Afternoon Update. With the news, I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Barbados records its latest road fatality. We understand that the accident occurred in Congo Road, St. Philip, around 11 a.m. And we're also hearing of another serious accident in Barbados, St. Thomas. We'll update to you as more information comes to hand. In the meantime, log on to our Facebook page or www.barbadostoday.bb for the very latest. The Barbados Labour Party candidate for St. Peter knocks the Prime Minister on his recent response to crime. Yesterday, Prime Minister Barbados Stewart told party members on the final day of the Democratic Labour Party's annual conference that there was a need for a collective community effort to rid the island of its current upsurge in crime. But speaking that same day at his BLP branch meeting in St. Peter, Colin Jordan said that the Prime Minister's comments on the situation was insufficient, insisting that Minister Stewart speak to the nation on the issue and not just his party members.
When a country is gripped by the fear of crime, the Attorney General speaking and the Acting Commissioner speaking after taking direction from the Attorney General doesn't give the kind of comfort that comes when the leader of cabinet, the leader of the government, actually speaks. So Ms. Morley was able to get a few words from the Prime Minister just today. He spoke, but as usual, rather than coming to the people of the country, he speaks to the party faithful at George Street. Crime and the fear of crime is not a George Street issue.
Prime Minister Barbados Stewart makes an impassioned plea to the international community. The Barbadian leader wants developed countries to rethink their policies regarding the provision of financial assistance to small developing countries like those in the Caribbean. Making reference to the damage caused in Dominica by the passage of a tropical storm Erika last week, Prime Minister Stewart told his Democratic Labour Party annual conference that there was need for a new policy given the vulnerability of the region to threats of varying degrees, including natural disasters.
This is what we mean when we go into international fora and tell international financial institutions and the governments that finance them that there's something fundamentally wrong with graduating countries like those in CARICOM from access to concessional financing using a dubious measure or the dubious measure of GDP per capita. We do not tire of making the point that all of our GDP can be wiped out in a few hours by a serious national disaster.
He says the GDP per capita rating by which CARICOM countries are measured should be changed to a vulnerability index.
We must revisit this GDP per capita measure by which countries in CARICOM are graduated and labeled middle-income countries. It is important that some other index be used. And whether it be Minister Sinkler or myself or Minister Law or Minister Essex, whoever goes abroad and has to speak on these matters, Minister Seeley, whoever goes, we make the point that rather than using GDP per capita, we should use an index called the vulnerability index, because we are all very vulnerable to natural disasters.
The Barbados Coast Guard is now in Dominica assisting with recovery efforts post-Tropical Storm Erika. Barbados today is on the ground for a first-hand look. Here's our Marie-Claire Williams with details from Roseau.
The Barbados Coast Guard is now on its way to the southeastern community of Petit Savan to assist in recovery efforts. Petit Savan was one of the worst hit areas when the storm passed over the island last Thursday, dumping 12 inches of rain and resulting in loss of life and widespread destruction. The Barbados Coast Guard has been joined by personnel from the Antigua and Barbuda Fire and Police Department in their operation this morning. Officials have also been appealing to the public to stay away from the most affected areas in order to avoid further loss of life and damage, as the area is still prone to further landslides. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit has been meeting this morning with Grenada's Health Minister as efforts continue to clean up after the storm. From Roseau, this is Marie-Claire Williams reporting for Barbados Today.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
Got it in my hand, yeah. My Barbados, my bank. Got to understand, yeah. My Barbados, my bank. Ain't nothing like a core bank spare. None of them others just can't compare. You just got to love that taste. It's a world-class thing this land makes. Whether I'm cruising or at a bar, whether I'm at home, my bank spare is never far. For this blessing, got to give God thanks. My Barbados, my bank.
We pick up with news from the region. Agricultural officials in St. Lucia are urging farmers to get insurance coverage as the 2015 hurricane season reaches its peak. Agriculture Minister Moses Baptiste says his ministry is taking the necessary measures to prepare the sector to weather natural disasters, and farmers must do the same by securing their livelihoods and investments. More in this report from HTS News Force.
Moses Baptiste says that the authorities have devised a strategy to deal with weather systems. He says that all stakeholders in the industry should follow up on the draft.
Their own practices, whether it be how they till soils on hillsides and how they protect their animals in terms of proper housing and so on. All of these form the regular staple of our workshops and our training sessions with them.
The Agriculture Minister says that it is imperative that the industry operators safeguard their lives and investments.
And we continue to encourage farmers and fishers and people in the various cooperatives to take insurance, because hurricanes and storms and bad weather, these are just part of our lives in St. Lucia, and we'd hope that they'll take heed.
And finally, in Ukraine, a member of the country's National Guard is dead and at least 100 people were injured after violent protests erupt outside the parliament. According to reports, the National Guardsmen were pelted with firecrackers after MPs gave initial backing to reforms for more autonomy in the rebel-held East. We get more in this BBC News report.
As you see, things have gotten very violent very fast. This was a peaceful demonstration until the start of the actual vote. Now it's not clear how this is going to develop. It has gotten, as you can see, the line of police there is pushing back. There have been clashes between the demonstrators. Then the police move back. But at the moment, the situation obviously is tense, and it's not clear how this is going to develop. These demonstrators, it's not clear how much support they have among Ukrainian society as a whole. They are, however, dead set against the amendments to the Constitution, even though President Poroshenko and his supporters say that this grants only a limited amount of autonomy to the eastern regions. For them, that's even too much. And they say that this is not the time to even introduce these sort of changes in the country.
And that's news. For the very latest, log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper, our email updates, and like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on iZoomi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Channel 101 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Do have a great afternoon.